At the bottom of the world, three oceans collide in the most violent sea on Earth. This is the edge of Tierra del Fuego, the last land before endless sea. Beyond this point, no landmass remains to calm the raging sea. This is Cape Horn, the final threshold before the open sea takes over. For centuries, sailors have feared this single point, where the sea shows no mercy. 600 miles of open sea separate this cape from the ice of Antarctica. This is Drake Passage, the most violent stretch of sea on our planet. Here, the Atlantic, Pacific, and Southern Ocean meet without warning in the sea. No other place on Earth sees three oceans collide in one open sea. Even beneath the surface, this restless corridor of sea never truly rests. Waves here can rise over 6 feet, swallowing everything in their path at sea. The wind alone can reach hurricane force, screaming unopposed across the open sea. This is a place where nature still rules completely over the sea. For hundreds of years, this narrow sea has decided who lives and who does not. This is the story of Drake Passage, a sea that has swallowed 800 ships. Cape Horn marks the southernmost tip of the entire American continent's sea edge. Sailors once called it the end of the world, the last sea before nothing. For generations, rounding this cape was the ultimate test of sea and survival. No shelter exists here, only open water and the fury of the sea. Even the birds here fly cautiously, respecting the power of this restless sea. Weather here can change from calm to chaos within a single hour at sea. This unpredictability has made Drake Passage legendary among every sea in history. Even brief calm here never lasts long against the restless nature of this sea. This lonely cape has watched centuries of ships vanish into this violent sea. Hidden rocks beneath the surface have claimed as many ships as the open sea. Beneath the waves, jagged stone waits silently within this treacherous sea. A single lighthouse still stands watch over this unforgiving edge of the sea. Its light offers little comfort against the true danger hidden within this sea. Beyond this final marker, there is nothing but open water and the sea. This is where Drake Passage truly begins, 600 miles of open sea. Here, the Atlantic Ocean reaches its final boundary before merging into another sea. To the west, the Pacific Ocean pushes its own powerful currents into this sea. To the south, the icy Southern Ocean adds its own fury to this sea. Three of the world's great oceans converge in this single narrow sea. Nowhere else on Earth do three oceans collide within such a narrow sea. Beneath the surface, these currents move faster than almost anywhere in the sea. This convergence creates some of the fastest moving water in the entire sea. Ships crossing here must fight three different forces within a single sea. Weather systems from every direction collide violently above this narrow sea. From space, this narrow gap looks deceptively calm, yet it hides a violent sea. For centuries, mapmakers marked this region as one of the world's most feared seas. Long before satellites, sailors learned to fear this sea through hard experience. In the age of wooden ships, crossing this sea meant risking everything. This passage was not always known, hidden for centuries beneath uncertainty and sea myth. Its discovery would change how humanity understood the shape of the sea. In the early 1500s, a Spanish navigator first glimpsed this open sea. Francisco de Joses sailed south from the Strait of Magellan into open sea. He became the first European known to see this open, endless sea. For decades, this discovery remained forgotten in the story of the sea. In 1578, an English privateer's fleet entered this same sea. Sir Francis Drake's ships were driven far south by a ferocious sea storm. One ship was lost, another abandoned. Only his flagship survived this violent sea. This storm proved that open water existed south of the continent's sea edge. Though Drake never fully crossed it, his name became attached to this sea. In 1616, a Dutch navigator finally crossed this dangerous open sea. Willem Schouten proved this route could truly be sailed across open sea. From that voyage onward, sailors accepted this passage as part of the sea. Before the Panama Canal, this was the only route connecting two great seas. For nearly 4 centuries, every ship bound west had to face this sea. Commerce, exploration, and survival all depended on surviving this narrow sea. Beneath these waves flows the most powerful current system in the entire sea. The Antarctic Circumpolar Current flows endlessly around the world's coldest sea. It moves more water than any river ever could through any sea. Nothing blocks its path. No continent interrupts this endless flow of sea. This current connects every ocean basin on Earth into one vast sea. Here, this massive current is forced through the narrowest point of the sea. Squeezed into this gap, the current's power multiplies violently across the sea. This funneling effect intensifies every storm that crosses this narrow sea. This current also carries the deep cold of Antarctica across the open sea. Where warm and cold water meet here, the sea becomes truly unpredictable. This clash of temperature fuels storms that define the character of this sea. Scientists call this the strongest ocean current found anywhere on our sea. It moves roughly 600 times more water than the Amazon into this sea. No vessel, however large, can truly fight this current within the open sea. This current alone would be enough to make Drake Passage a dangerous sea. But the current alone does not explain the true danger of this sea. Relentless winds circle this latitude, unbroken by any landmass at sea.
Sailors named this region the Roaring Forties, the first wind belt of this sea. Further south, the winds grow stronger still, entering the open sea's furious belt. This is the Furious 50s, where wind and wave dominate the entire sea. Closer to Antarctica lies the Screaming 60s, the harshest belt of this sea. Drake Passage sits directly within this final, most violent belt of sea. With no land to slow it, wind gathers strength across the entire open sea. This distance, called fetch, allows waves to grow massive across the open sea. Each mile of open water adds more power to the waves of this sea. By the time these waves reach the passage, they can tower over any sea. Sailors describe these waves striking like walls across the open sea. This relentless rhythm of impact defines every crossing of this open sea. Wind, current, and fetch combine here into one violently unpredictable sea. Together, these forces create the most feared conditions of any sea on Earth. Yet this same sea can also fall completely, deceptively calm at times. Sailors call this rare state the Drake Lake, the gentler side of this sea. Roughly 70% of crossings pass through a calmer version of this sea. But calm here can vanish in hours, replaced instantly by a violent sea. This unpredictability is what sailors call the Drake Shake of this sea. No forecast can fully predict when the shake will strike this open sea. Within a single hour, the lake can become the most feared sea alive. This sudden shift has caught countless sailors completely unprepared at sea. Every crossing here carries the risk of this sudden, violent sea shift. This dual nature is why sailors both respect and fear this open sea. For centuries, this violent sea has claimed ships without warning or mercy. In the age of sail, wooden hulls stood little chance against this open sea. Rigging torn, sails shredded, many ships simply disappeared into this sea. No distress call, no rescue, only silence, swallowed by this endless sea. Historians estimate nearly 800 ships now rest within this sea. Roughly 20,000 lives are believed lost within this single sea. Few places on Earth carry a death toll as heavy as this narrow sea. Each wave that rolls here carries the memory of this violent sea's history. In 1819, one disaster here became the deadliest in this sea's history. The Spanish ship San Telmo sailed south, carrying reinforcements across this sea. It carried hundreds of soldiers bound for war across this dangerous sea. A violent storm struck without warning, deep within this treacherous sea. The ship broke apart, lost entirely,
within the fury of this open sea. 644 lives were lost in a single night at sea. It remains one of the deadliest single disasters in this violent sea's history. No memorial marks this spot, only the endless motion of this open sea. This disaster was not the first, nor the last, to strike this open sea. Whalers, traders, and explorers all faced the same fate within this sea. Most wrecks here were never fully documented, lost quietly to this sea. Somewhere below, their remains still rest within this cold, dark sea. Scattered across this floor lie the remains of centuries lost to the sea.
Time and current have slowly reclaimed each wreck within this quiet sea.
An old anchor remains the only marker left within this forgotten sea.
Fragments like these are all that remain of ships lost to this sea.
Now, quiet life has slowly returned to these ruins within the sea. This floor holds more history than any museum could ever preserve at sea. Modern explorers now search carefully for these lost stories of the sea. Every fragment recovered helps rebuild the true history of this violent sea. Most of this graveyard remains completely unexplored beneath the open sea. We leave these silent ruins behind, rising back toward the open sea. Above these wrecks, life still moves freely across the surface of the sea. The wandering albatross has mastered flight above this dangerous open sea. It can travel thousands of miles without ever touching land or sea. It rides the wind along each wave, turning danger into a highway of sea. Storm petrels seem to walk on water itself across this restless sea. Sailors once believed their presence warned of storms building at sea. This violent mixing of currents also brings rich nutrients to the sea. Danger and abundance exist side by side within this powerful sea. Krill thrive here by the billions, fed by the turbulence of this sea. Whales migrate through this violent corridor, drawn by the richness of this sea.
Even giants must navigate carefully through this unpredictable open sea. Dolphins seem almost to celebrate the raw power of this violent sea. Fur seals cling to scattered rocks, small refuges within this dangerous sea. Thousands nest on these cliffs, watching endlessly over this restless sea. Every creature here has adapted to survive this uniquely violent open sea. Today, modern ships still cross this passage, though never without respect for the sea. Steel hulls and modern engines have not tamed this unpredictable open sea. Even in 2022, this sea claimed a modern traveler's life. A sudden wave struck without warning, a reminder that this remains a violent sea. Every captain who crosses here still approaches this passage with humility toward the sea. Modern ships now carry advanced forecasting to navigate this dangerous open sea. Weather satellites now track every storm forming above this restless sea. Scientific instruments now measure every current flowing through this narrow sea. Automated buoys now record data continuously across this remote open sea. Robotic gliders now explore depths once impossible to study within this sea.
Every measurement collected here helps scientists understand our changing sea.
This turbulent water plays a hidden role in storing carbon within our sea.
Carbon captured at the surface sinks slowly into the depths of this sea. This process may make Drake Passage one of Earth's most vital seas.
What happens here influences climate patterns far beyond this single sea.
Massive icebergs drift north from Antarctica, carried by this powerful sea. Each iceberg carries ancient ice, a fragment of Antarctica within this sea. Most of an iceberg's danger lies hidden beneath the surface of this sea.
Ships must navigate carefully around these silent giants of the open sea.
Icebergs can roll without warning, another hidden danger of this sea. Even the ice itself adds unpredictable motion to this restless open sea. Beyond these drifting icebergs lies the frozen continent itself, past this sea. This passage remains the final barrier before reaching Antarctica's frozen sea.
For over a century, tourism has slowly grown across this legendary open sea.
Thousands now choose to cross this passage, seeking adventure across the sea.
Every ship still prepares carefully for the unpredictable nature of this sea.
Even modern vessels brace carefully before entering this legendary open sea.
On calm mornings, this passage reveals a rare and fragile beauty at sea.
For a brief moment, this violent sea shows a softer, gentler face. In calm water, dolphins play freely across the surface of this open sea.
This calm rarely lasts, a brief gift within an otherwise violent sea.
Somewhere beyond the horizon, another storm is already forming at sea. The first signs of change ripple quietly across this deceptively calm sea. Every calm moment here is only ever temporary within this restless sea.
The lake is already beginning to shift back toward the shake of this sea.
This is the true nature of Drake Passage, a sea that never stays still. Every crossing here becomes its own story, written by this unpredictable sea. This is only the beginning of understanding what makes this sea so violent. Beneath these building waves, the true forces of this sea remain hidden. To understand this sea fully, we must witness the shake at its worst.
The calm we witnessed is already gone, swallowed by this violent sea.
This is the sea that has claimed 800 ships throughout history. Its story is far from finished, still being written
across this open sea.
In the next chapter, we witness this passage at its most violent sea state.
We will follow the ships that dared to cross this legendary open sea.
Their stories reveal exactly why this remains the most feared sea alive. We will explore the exact moment the Drake Shake takes full control of the sea.
We will examine specific ships that vanished within this notorious open sea.
Each story adds another layer to the legend of this violent open sea.
We will trace the graveyard of ships resting silently beneath this open sea. Their wrecks still hold secrets waiting to be uncovered within this sea. We will follow modern explorers searching for answers within this dangerous sea. Their discoveries will help us understand why this remains such a violent sea.
We will examine the fascinating wildlife, like schools of mackerel and pods of bottlenose dolphins, that has learned to thrive within this open sea.
Their survival strategies reveal the hidden resilience of life within this sea. We will study the science behind this passage's role in our global sea. Its influence stretches far beyond this narrow stretch of violent open sea. We will follow icebergs on their long journey north through this open sea. Their slow decay tells its own story about the power of this open sea. We will witness firsthand what it means to cross this legendary open sea. Every journey through this passage becomes a personal battle with the sea. We will explore why humility remains the only true defense against this sea. This journey has only just begun within the story of this violent sea. What we have seen is only the surface of what defines this open sea. Deeper forces, deadlier moments, and untold stories still wait within this sea. We are about to witness the true violence hidden within this open sea. Every ship that enters here now faces the full fury of this open sea. We move now directly into the heart of this legendary open sea. What waits ahead will test everything we understand about this violent sea. This is Drake Passage, revealing its true, unforgiving nature at sea. The sea that has swallowed 800 ships shows no sign of mercy. Its history stretches back centuries, yet its danger remains fully present. Every wave, every current, every wind here tells the same story of the sea. This is nature at its rawest, entirely beyond human control within this sea. We now move deeper into the heart of Drake Passage's most violent sea state.
What follows will reveal exactly how this passage earned its fearsome name. We are entering the true heart of the Drake Shake within this sea. This is where our journey through the violence of this open sea deepens. What we witness next will show the full power of this legendary open sea. Next, we witness the Drake Shake at its absolute worst. That is part 2.
This is the Drake Shake, the sea at its most violent and unforgiving.
Sustained winds here can exceed 6 knots, tearing across the open sea. Wave after wave strikes without pause, a rhythm unique to this violent sea. Some waves rise so steeply they seem to defy the shape of the sea itself. This steepness is what makes waves here so dangerous within this sea. No calm patch remains visible anywhere across this fully awakened sea. Sometimes, a single wave rises far taller than any other in the sea.
Sailors call these rogue waves, freak giants born from this violent sea.
Scientists believe these form when multiple swells align within this narrow sea.
These waves can strike suddenly, without warning, anywhere across this sea. For decades, sailors' rogue wave accounts were dismissed as tales of the sea.
In 1995, an oil platform recorded proof of this violent sea.
The Draupner wave proved rogue waves were real, a true threat at sea.
Drake Passage remains one of the most likely places to encounter this sea.
Every captain who crosses here quietly fears this single, unpredictable sea.
In the 1800s, fast clipper ships raced across this dangerous sea.
Speed meant profit, pushing captains to challenge this passage's violent sea.
Tall masts caught every gust, both a blessing and a danger at sea.
One wrong gust could capsize an entire vessel within this unforgiving sea.
Sailors who survived multiple crossings earned the title of Cape Horners at sea.
This title was earned only through direct survival of this violent open sea. Tradition held that a gold earring marked those who conquered this sea. Many ships took weeks simply fighting westward against this powerful sea. Some ships were pushed backward for days, unable to progress through this sea. Those who finally broke free felt they had conquered the world's harshest sea.
In 1741, a British warship entered this treacherous open sea. The Wager sailed south as part of a squadron crossing this dangerous sea.
A violent storm scattered the fleet, leaving each ship alone within this sea. The Wager was driven off course, wrecked upon a remote island's sea.
Survivors found themselves stranded on a barren shore beside this violent sea.
What followed became one of history's most extraordinary tales of survival at sea. Order broke down among the survivors, isolated by this unforgiving sea.
Some survivors chose to build a small boat and challenge this open sea.
Against impossible odds, a handful eventually reached safety across this sea.
Their survival story became legendary, a testament to human will at sea.
The Wager was only one of countless tragedies scattered across this sea. By the 1800s, steam power began challenging this ancient, violent sea.
steam engines promised control that sail alone could never offer this sea.
Yet even steam power struggled against the raw force of this open sea. Engine failure here often meant certain disaster within this unforgiving sea. Without power, a ship became helpless against the current of this sea. Records from this era describe entire crews lost within a single sea storm. Rescue in this era was nearly impossible, too far from any other sea. No distress signal could travel far enough across this remote, empty sea. Families waited months for news that would never arrive from this sea. Combined with ice, this passage became even more lethal within its sea. Ice hidden within stormy waves added an invisible danger to this sea. A ship could strike ice long before ever seeing it within this sea. Lookouts strained through storm and darkness to spot danger within this sea.
Ice and storm combined created the deadliest conditions found in any sea.
Many wrecks in this graveyard were claimed by ice, hidden within the sea. A single collision could open a hull to the full force of this sea. Minutes were all a crew had before this sea claimed their vessel entirely. Those who escaped into lifeboats still faced the full fury of this sea. A small open boat offered little true protection against this violent sea. Cold alone could kill within hours for those adrift on this open sea. Rescue, if it came at all, often arrived too late within this remote sea. Search efforts here always faced the same relentless enemy, this violent sea. Even modern rescue teams struggle to search effectively within this sea.
Today, specialized vessels stand ready to respond within this dangerous sea. Even aircraft face extreme risk attempting rescue above this violent sea.
Every rescue attempt here becomes its own battle against this powerful sea. Success is never guaranteed, even with modern tools, within this open sea.
A ship listing at extreme angles risks capsizing entirely within this sea. Naval architects study exactly how far a ship can lean within this sea. This is called broaching, when a ship turns sideways within a violent sea. Once sideways, a ship becomes fully exposed to the next wave in this sea. This single moment has ended countless voyages within this violent sea. Modern captains train specifically to avoid this fate within this open sea. Meeting each wave directly remains the safest strategy within this sea.
Even a small error in angle can prove fatal within this unforgiving sea. Generations of sailors pass down hard-earned lessons about this sea. Old ship logs describe the same terror felt by every crew at sea. One captain wrote of waves that seemed to touch the sky above this sea.
Another described total darkness at midday, swallowed whole by this sea. These accounts, though centuries old, still describe today's violent sea.
Fear here was as constant a companion as the wind across this sea.
Sailors developed superstitions to cope with the uncertainty of this sea. Certain rituals were believed to bring luck before entering this violent sea. Whether luck or skill mattered more remained debated across every sea voyage. Even in the 20th century, this passage continued claiming ships at sea. Modern cargo ships, built of steel, still struggled against this violent sea. Cargo could shift violently, destabilizing an entire vessel within this sea. Shifted cargo has caused ships to capsize suddenly within this open sea. Fishing vessels, smaller and lighter, face even greater risk in this sea. Many local fishermen refuse to venture far into this dangerous open sea. Local knowledge of this sea has been passed down for many generations.
Knowing when not to sail proved just as vital as skill at sea. Respect for this passage was earned through loss, not simply through legend. Each generation added new names to the long history of this violent sea.
In 1968, a cargo vessel vanished suddenly within this sea. Its final radio message described conditions worsening rapidly at sea.
Then, without further contact, the vessel disappeared entirely into the sea.
Search teams found only scattered debris drifting across this remote sea.
No survivors were ever found within the vastness of this open sea. To this day, exactly what happened remains unknown within this sea.
This is far from the only ship to vanish without explanation at sea. Maritime records list dozens of vessels lost without a trace at sea. Investigating disasters here remains difficult within such a remote sea.
Evidence often sinks far beyond reach into the deep floor of this sea. This floor holds answers that may never fully surface from this sea.
Occasionally, modern exploration teams recover fragments long lost to this sea.
Each fragment recovered adds a small piece to this sea's long history.
Most wrecks here remain completely undiscovered beneath this remote sea.
The surface violence above hides an equally vast mystery below this sea. Every wave that rolls here still carries the memory of this violent sea. Today, scientists actively study why this remains one of Earth's harshest seas. Instruments now record wave heights that rival any storm found at sea.
This data helps forecasters warn future ships crossing this dangerous sea.
Yet even the best forecasts still struggle with this unpredictable sea.
Storms here can intensify faster than any forecast model predicts at sea. This rapid intensification remains one of the greatest challenges at sea.
Ships must be prepared to react within minutes upon this shifting sea.
Modern crews train constantly for this exact moment within this sea.
There is no room for hesitation once this passage reveals its true sea.
Every second of preparation matters once this sea begins to shake.
Modern engineering has improved survival odds within this violent sea.
Yet no engineering can fully eliminate the risk found within this sea. This remains, and may always remain, one of the world's most dangerous seas. In 2022, a modern expedition ship met this violent sea. A rogue wave struck without warning, shattering windows within this sea.
One passenger lost their life in an instant within this unforgiving sea.
This tragedy proved that modern comfort offers no true shield from this sea.
Even with satellite forecasts, this sea can strike entirely without warning.
This incident reminded the world that this remains a truly wild sea.
Since then, operators have strengthened protocols for crossing this sea.
New safety measures now account for the extreme forces of this sea. Still, no measure can guarantee complete safety within this open sea. Every passenger who crosses here accepts a small measure of risk at sea. Yet thousands still choose this crossing, drawn by the beauty beyond this sea. Antarctica waits on the far side, a reward for surviving this sea. For many, this violent crossing becomes the journey's most memorable sea. Every survivor carries their own personal story from this legendary sea. This shared experience connects every generation who has crossed this sea. As the shake begins to fade, this passage slowly reveals another side. Beneath this violent surface lies a world few ever glimpse within the sea.
Below the chaos above, an entirely different story unfolds within this sea.
Cold, nutrient-rich water flows steadily beneath this restless open sea.
This turbulence feeds one of the richest ecosystems found in any sea.
Life here thrives precisely because of the violence found within this sea. Fur seals dive deep to escape the chaos found at the surface of this sea. Even whales seek refuge in calmer depths beneath this violent open sea. This floor remains untouched by the fury raging above this restless sea. We rise again toward the surface, where the story of this sea continues. The drake shake slowly begins to release its grip on this exhausted sea. Calm always eventually returns, even within this notoriously violent sea. Ships that survive the shake often describe an overwhelming relief at sea. Every crossing survived becomes another story added to this legendary sea. This is the true rhythm of Drake Passage, violence followed by calm sea. Yet history reminds us
this calm is only ever temporary within this sea. 800 ships, 20,000 lives, all claimed by this single sea. Each number represents a story, a family, a moment lost to this sea. This passage remains a living memorial, written in the waves of this sea. Despite every danger, humanity has never stopped crossing this violent sea. Curiosity has always outweighed fear for those who study this sea. Every expedition here adds new understanding of this powerful open sea. What we learn here reaches far beyond the boundaries of this single sea. This passage connects directly to the health of our entire planet's sea. Its role in global climate remains as important as its violent open sea. Beneath this passage lies a hidden world we have yet to fully explore. This floor holds geology as dramatic as the storms above this open sea. Deep canyons and ridges shape the currents that define this violent sea. This underwater terrain remains almost as unexplored as the deepest sea. Somewhere below, this passage hides depths as extreme as any open sea. We return once more to the surface, where our journey through this sea continues. For now, this passage rests, gathering strength for its next violent sea storm. In this brief calm, life moves freely across the surface of this sea. The albatross continues its endless journey, unaware of this changing sea. Even icebergs seem to drift more gently within this temporary calm sea. This peace, however brief, reveals the true beauty hidden within this sea. Few who witness this calm ever forget the contrast within this powerful sea. Every crew that experiences both faces of this sea carries a lasting memory. As night falls, this passage settles into a rare and fragile stillness. Even now, deep beneath this calm, powerful currents never truly rest. This nightly stillness offers only a brief pause within this restless sea. Sailors have navigated by these same stars for centuries across this sea. Even at night, faint light stirs quietly beneath the surface of this sea. Moonlight now reveals a passage transformed from its violent daytime sea. This is the paradox at the heart of Drake Passage, beauty within violent sea. Yet even this stillness cannot last forever within such a restless sea. Somewhere in the darkness, another storm is already forming at sea. This endless cycle of calm and violence defines the true nature of this sea. Every ship that crosses here must accept this unpredictable rhythm of sea. We have witnessed the fury and the peace hidden within this legendary sea. But the story of Drake Passage extends far beyond its violent surface sea. Beneath every storm lies an entire hidden world within this powerful sea.
We now turn our journey toward the underwater world hidden within this sea.
below the waves, an entirely different chapter of this sea awaits us. This cold, nutrient-rich water sustains life found nowhere else at sea.
This abundance forms the true foundation of this passage's powerful sea. What thrives below explains why so much life gathers within this sea. Fur seals gather here, drawn by the richness hidden within this violent sea. Whales continue their migration, unaware of the storms yet to come at sea. We rise again, carrying forward the story of this remarkable open sea.
Above us, the sky has fully returned to its familiar, restless, open sea state.
The cycle begins again, as it always has, within this violent open sea. We have now witnessed the full rhythm that defines this legendary sea. From calm to chaos and back again, this remains an endlessly restless sea. What lies beneath this passage remains just as important as its violent sea. Our next journey takes us fully beneath the surface of this legendary sea. There, an entire hidden ecosystem thrives within this powerful open sea. Creatures found nowhere else survive within the currents of this sea. We will explore exactly how life adapts to survive within this violent sea. We will also examine the geology shaping the floor of this ancient sea. Tectonic forces here continue shaping this passage's violent open sea. We will trace how this seafloor connects directly to Antarctica's frozen sea. This connection reveals why this passage matters to our entire planet's sea. We will follow scientists working to protect the future of this vital sea. Their work reveals just how fragile this powerful ecosystem truly is at sea. We move now beneath the surface, into the true depths of this sea. What waits below will reveal a side of this passage rarely seen at sea. This is where our journey through Drake Passage now turns beneath the sea. Every current, every ridge, every creature here tells a piece of this sea's story. We are entering the hidden underwater world of Drake Passage's deep sea. What follows will reveal exactly what lie beneath this legendary open sea. We continue deeper still into the true heart of this powerful sea. This is where our journey through the violence of this sea deepens further. What we witness next will show the hidden power sustaining this open sea. This underwater world remains just as extreme as the storm above this sea. We now move directly into the heart of this hidden underwater sea. What waits ahead will test everything we understand about this powerful sea. This is where our journey through Drake Passage's underwater world deepens. And what we witness next will reveal the true hidden life within this sea. Next, we descend fully into the hidden underwater world of this sea. That is part 3. Beneath the violence above lies a hidden world within this remarkable sea. This water carries nutrients drawn from the very depths of the southern sea. Antarctic krill gather here in numbers unmatched anywhere else in the sea. Each one small, yet together they form the foundation of this entire sea. The very violence of this passage feeds the richness found within this sea. Phytoplankton bloom here, fueled by nutrients rising through this turbulent sea.
These tiny organisms form the very first link in this entire food chain of sea. Along the shallower edges, towering kelp forests thrive within this cold sea. Some kelp here can grow over a foot in a single day within this sea. These forests shelter countless species from the violence above this sea. Fur seals hunt skillfully among this kelp, masters of this coastal sea. Their agility here rivals anything found in warmer, calmer parts of the sea. Speed and precision define survival within this cold, resource-rich sea. Thousands gather along these shores, drawn by the abundance of this sea. Penguins transform completely once they enter this cold, powerful sea. Clumsy on land, they become torpedoes the moment they enter this sea. Their wings, useless for flight, become powerful paddles within this sea. Gentoo penguins can reach speeds unmatched by any bird within this sea.
Even brief surfacing here requires precise timing within this turbulent sea. Safety in numbers protects them from predators lurking within this sea. The leopard seal patrols these waters, the true apex hunter of this sea.
Its reputation as a fearsome predator is well earned within this sea.
A single strike, precise and sudden, can end within seconds at sea.
It can grow longer than a small boat, dominant within this powerful sea. Between hunts, it rests on drifting ice within this cold, restless sea.
Few creatures move as effortlessly through this violent, unforgiving sea. Even the leopard seal shares this sea with an even greater predator. Orcas patrol this passage, true apex hunters of the entire open sea. They hunt as a team, communicating through this vast and violent sea. Their intelligence allows them to thrive even within this chaotic sea. Young orcas learn survival skills early within this unforgiving open sea. Their hunting techniques here are passed down through generations of sea.
Humpback whales migrate through this passage, drawn by its abundant sea.
Its baleen strains thousands of krill from a single gulp of this sea. A single lunge can capture enough food to sustain it within this sea.
It travels thousands of miles each year to feast within this violent sea.
Southern right whales also pass through this passage, ancient travelers at sea.
Once hunted nearly to extinction, they slowly return to this recovering sea.
New calves learn to navigate this powerful current within their first sea. Dusky dolphins race alongside the current, thriving within this restless sea. Above the surface, seabirds capitalize on the richness of this powerful sea. Even the albatross, master of the sky, dives into this abundant sea. Thousands nest along these cliffs, feeding entirely from this open sea. Giant petrels scavenge relentlessly, opportunists within this violent sea. The icefish survives without red blood cells within this freezing cold sea. Special antifreeze proteins keep its blood flowing within this icy sea. This adaptation exists nowhere else, unique to creatures of this sea. The Patagonian toothfish can live for decades within this cold, deep sea. Its slow growth makes it especially vulnerable within this fragile sea. Overfishing once threatened its survival within this remote southern sea. Strict regulations now help protect this species within this vital sea. Brittle stars carpet the seafloor in numbers found in few other seas. Giant sea spiders grow far larger here than anywhere else in the sea. Cold water anemones bloom in vivid color along the floor of this sea.
Even deep-sea giants find refuge within the cold currents of this sea.
Scientists continue discovering new species within the depths of this sea.
Each expedition here reveals new mysteries hidden within this remote sea.
This terrain shapes the currents that define the surface of this sea.
These ridges were born from forces far older than any ship at sea.
Beneath this passage, tectonic plates continue shifting within the Earth's sea.
This region sits atop the Scotia Plate, a small piece within a vast sea. This arc of ridges connects South America to Antarctica beneath the sea. Volcanic activity still stirs quietly along this ridge beneath the open sea.
These formations reveal a landscape shaped by fire beneath this cold sea.
Nearby, one plate slides slowly beneath another within this restless sea.
This subduction carved one of the deepest trenches in the Southern Sea. The South Sandwich Trench plunges nearly 5 miles into this cold sea. It remains the deepest point found anywhere within the Southern Sea. Few expeditions have ever reached the true bottom of this remote sea. Even here, in crushing darkness, life somehow persists within this sea. Snailfish have been recorded at extreme depths within this southern sea.
This trench connects directly to the same violent forces above this sea.
Earthquakes here occur regularly, reshaping the floor of this restless sea.
We rise now from this trench, back toward the storms above this sea.
This deep trench and the surface storm are part of one connected sea. Life becomes more abundant as we return toward the surface of this sea.
This vertical journey reveals the true scale of life within this sea.
Every layer of this passage tells a different story of the sea. This connection between depth and surface defines this powerful sea. This abundance explains why so many species migrate to this sea. Scientists study this ecosystem closely to understand our changing sea. These instruments measure temperature changes throughout this vital sea.
Even small shifts here can ripple outward across the entire global sea.
This sinking water forms one of the coldest, even the densest layers in our sea. This is Antarctic bottom water, formed within this powerful open sea.
It travels thousands of miles, reaching nearly every ocean basin at sea.
This single current helps regulate the temperature of our entire sea.
Few realize how much depends on this single, violent stretch of sea.
This turbulent water also absorbs vast amounts of carbon from our sea.
Scientists call this region one of the planet's most vital carbon seas.
Phytoplankton here absorb carbon just as forests do on land at sea. That carbon then sinks slowly, locked away within this deep, cold sea.
This process happens quietly, unseen, within this remote and violent sea.
Researchers brave this dangerous sea specifically to study this process. Every sample collected here helps predict the future of our climate sea. But this vital system faces growing pressure from a warming sea.
Rising global temperatures threaten the delicate balance of this sea. Ice loss nearby alters the currents that shape this powerful open sea. Warmer years mean less ice, reshaping the balance of this entire sea. Krill populations have shown signs of decline within this changing sea. Fewer krill means real consequences for every creature within this sea.
Yet this remains one of the healthiest, least disturbed regions of sea. Its remoteness has protected it from much of the harm found elsewhere at sea.
International agreements now help protect large portions of this sea. Nations around the world have committed to preserving this vital sea.
Continued monitoring remains essential to protecting the future of this sea. Signs of recovery continue to appear within carefully protected areas of sea.
Whale populations continue slowly recovering within this protected sea.
This journey has only reached its midpoint within the story of this sea.
This recovery offers hope for the future of this powerful, restless sea.
We rise now, carrying this hidden world story back to the surface sea.
Above, the violence continues, unaware of the life thriving beneath this sea.
we surface once more into the familiar chaos of this legendary sea. This violent surface and the thriving world below are one single sea. Every creature we witnessed connects directly to this dangerous open sea. This passage sustains an entire web of life within its violent sea. Its danger and its abundance exist together, inseparable within this sea. Beyond this passage, the frozen continent still waits across the open sea. Our journey now turns toward that final frontier, beyond this violent sea. This passage remains the final gateway before reaching Antarctica's frozen sea. Drifting ice marks the entrance to an even colder, harsher sea beyond. Each iceberg here carries fragments of Antarctica's ancient frozen sea.
Most of an iceberg's true scale lies hidden beneath the surface of this sea. Icebergs can roll without warning, another hidden danger of this sea. Even the ice itself adds unpredictable motion to this restless open sea. Ships must navigate carefully around these silent giants of the open sea. This ancient ice may hold air, trapped for thousands of years within this sea. Scientists study these fragments to understand our planet's ancient sea. This passage remains the final barrier before reaching Antarctica's frozen sea. For centuries, this destination has drawn explorers across this violent sea. Early explorers risked everything crossing this passage toward unknown sea. Many never returned, lost to the combined dangers of ice and sea. Some ships became trapped for months within this frozen, unforgiving sea. Survival meant enduring months of isolation within this brutal frozen sea. Those who survived these ordeals became legends of this frozen open sea. Their courage opened this passage to generations of explorers after this sea. Today, research stations study this frozen frontier beyond the open sea. Icebreaker vessels now carry scientists safely across this dangerous sea. Even these powerful ships still respect the true force of this sea. Every expedition here builds upon centuries of hard lessons from this sea. Modern technology now reveals secrets long hidden within this remote sea. Satellites now track ice, current, and storm across this entire sea. This constant observation helps protect ships crossing this dangerous sea. Yet even with all this knowledge, mystery remains within this legendary sea. No amount of data can fully tame the raw power of this violent sea. This remains, and will likely always remain, an untamed and living sea. We have now witnessed both the surface and depths of this remarkable sea. Our journey now turns toward the ice itself, the true edge of this sea. What waits beyond this passage will reveal an entirely different open sea. This ice marks the beginning of one of Earth's most extreme frozen seas.
Here, the violence of open water meets the stillness of a frozen sea.
This boundary shifts constantly, defined by season within this restless sea.
Beyond this point, solid ice replaces the open water of this violent sea.
We descend once more, this time into the frozen edge of this open sea. Light struggles to pass through, painting the sea in shades of pale blue. Beneath the ice, an entirely different world of this passage awaits us. The leopard seal moves comfortably between open water and this icy sea.
Penguins slip easily between two worlds within this changing frozen sea.
Even orcas hunt carefully among this icy, ever-shifting open sea.
This is where Drake Passage finally surrenders to Antarctica's frozen sea. We rise once more, carrying this frozen chapter back into the open sea. This passage has now revealed nearly every face of its remarkable sea. Violence, beauty, life, and ice all exist together within this single sea.
No other place on Earth combines these extremes within one single sea.
We have explored its history, its violence, and its hidden underwater sea. Yet one final aspect of this passage still waits within its restless sea. Every year, thousands still choose to test themselves against this sea. Their reasons vary, yet all share the same respect for this violent sea.
Scientists, sailors, and travelers all share this singular, powerful sea.
We will follow their stories in the chapters ahead, deep within this sea. Their courage reveals what it truly means to face this legendary sea. Their discoveries continue to reshape what we understand about this sea. Every crossing adds one more chapter to the long history of this sea. We will witness firsthand what it means to truly cross this open sea. This journey has revealed only part of what defines this violent sea. What follows will bring us even closer to the true heart of this sea. Deeper stories, deadlier moments, and untold courage still wait within this sea. We are about to witness the human stories hidden within this open sea. Every ship that enters here now faces the full fury of this open sea.
We move now directly into the next chapter of this legendary open sea. What waits ahead will test everything we understand about this violent sea. This is Drake Passage, revealing yet another face of its unforgiving sea. The sea that has swallowed 800 ships continues to write its story. Its history stretches back centuries, yet its future remains still unwritten. Every wave, every current, every creature here tells the same story of sea. This is nature at its rawest, entirely beyond human control within this sea.
We now move deeper into the human stories shaped by this powerful sea.
What follows will reveal exactly how this passage shapes those who cross it.
We are entering the heart of the human story within this violent sea. This is where our journey through the legacy of this open sea deepens. What we witness next will show the full weight of this legendary open sea. Every journey through this passage becomes a personal battle with the sea. We will explore why humility remains the only true defense against this sea.
What we have seen is only part of what defines this powerful open sea.
Deeper forces, deadlier moments, and untold stories still wait within this sea. We are about to witness the true resilience hidden within this open sea. Every ship that enters here now faces the full fury of this open sea. We move now toward the final human stories written within this open sea. What waits ahead will test everything we understand about this violent sea. This is Drake Passage, still writing its story within this unforgiving sea.
The sea that has swallowed 800 ships still commands total respect.
Every wave, every current, every story here belongs to this single sea.
This is nature at its rawest, entirely beyond human control within this sea.
We now move toward the final chapters of our journey through this sea. What follows will bring together everything this passage has taught us. We are entering the final stretch of our journey through this legendary sea.
This is where our journey through the depths of this open sea begins to close.
What we witness next will bring together the full story of this open sea. Every journey through this passage becomes part of its endless open sea. We move now toward the final human stories that define this open sea. This journey now approaches its final chapters within this powerful sea. What remains ahead will complete our understanding of this powerful sea. Final stories, final forces, and final truths still wait within this sea. We are about to witness the final human stories hidden within this sea. Every ship that enters here now faces the full fury of this open sea. We move now toward the final stories written within this legendary open sea. What waits ahead will complete everything we understand about this sea. This is Drake Passage, approaching the final chapter of its violent sea. The sea that has swallowed 800 ships prepares to reveal its final truth. Every wave, every current, every story now converges within this sea. This is nature at its rawest, entirely beyond human control within this sea.
Next, we meet the modern explorers who still dare to cross this sea. That is part 4.
Despite everything this passage has shown us, ships still cross this sea. Every year, hundreds of vessels depart toward this legendary open sea. This final cape
marks the last calm water before entering this violent sea. Every departure here carries the same quiet weight of history at sea. Modern navigation equipment now guides every ship crossing this dangerous sea. Weather routing software now maps the safest path through this violent sea. Constant satellite contact keeps every ship connected within this remote sea. Yet even this technology cannot fully predict the mood of this sea. Every captain still relies on instinct alongside data within this sea. Before entering this passage, every ship prepares meticulously for the sea. Nothing is left unsecured before facing the unpredictable nature of this sea.
A quiet tension settles over every vessel before entering this legendary sea. Once land disappears, there is no turning back within this open sea.
The crossing typically takes 2 full days across this violent open sea.
For those 2 days, nothing exists beyond the ship and this open sea.
Some choose to cross this passage aboard nothing more than a small sea yacht. Solo sailors have crossed this passage using only wind and this open sea.
Alone, with no crew to share the burden, they face this violent sea. Every wave here can dwarf a small vessel entirely within this open sea.
Solo sailors describe complete exhaustion after days within this relentless sea.
Sleep becomes a luxury few can truly afford within this dangerous sea.
Elite ocean races sometimes chart courses near this legendary open sea. These races push both sailor and vessel to their absolute limit at sea. Speed records here are measured against the harshest conditions at sea.
Only a small number of sailors have ever conquered this legendary sea alone.
Others have attempted something even more extreme, rowing across this sea. Human power alone drives these small boats across this violent sea. Rowers spend weeks confined within a tiny space upon this open sea. Every stroke here fights directly against the current of this powerful sea.
In 2019, a team successfully rowed across this violent sea.
Their achievement became one of the most celebrated feats within this sea. Records like these continue pushing the limits of what humans attempt at sea.
Some of the youngest sailors ever recorded have crossed this legendary sea.
Their achievements inspired a new generation to respect this powerful sea. The fastest recorded crossing took just over 30 hours across this sea.
Such speed requires perfect timing and rare calm within this open sea.
Scientific vessels also make this crossing regularly to study this sea.
Their laboratories continue operating, even amid the chaos of this sea. Researchers collect data continuously, regardless of conditions at sea.
Every data point gathered here adds to our understanding of this sea.
Scientists aboard these ships endure the same hardship as any sailor at sea. Their work continues season after season within this demanding open sea. Automated systems now assist researchers studying this remote, violent sea. Robotic gliders now explore depths once impossible to study within this sea. Technology now reaches places no human could safely explore at sea.
Modern search and rescue teams stand ready within this dangerous sea. International cooperation now coordinates rescue efforts across this sea.
Nations sharing this coastline now train together for this remote sea. Every vessel now transmits its position continuously across this sea. Emergency beacons can summon help within hours across this remote sea. Yet distance and weather still delay rescue within this violent sea. Every rescue mission here remains a race against this powerful sea. Tourism has grown steadily, drawing thousands to cross this legendary sea. Passengers now watch this violent crossing from the safety of modern ships. For many, this crossing becomes an unforgettable memory of this open sea. Even with comfort, this remains a genuine test of nerve within this sea.
Seasickness remains common, a shared experience within this violent sea. Even experienced travelers find themselves humbled within this powerful sea. This shared discomfort creates an unexpected bond among those crossing this sea.
Antarctic tourism has grown significantly, drawing more visitors to this sea.
This growth raises new questions about protecting this fragile southern sea.
Operators now follow strict guidelines to minimize impact on this sea. Wildlife here must be protected, even as more visitors arrive by sea.
Finding this balance remains an ongoing challenge within this precious sea.
Every operator who crosses here carries responsibility toward this sea.
Captains train for years before earning the right to cross this sea. Specialized certification is required to command a vessel through this sea.
Ice navigation alone requires years of specialized training at sea. Many captains here have crossed this passage hundreds of times at sea.
Yet every single crossing still demands complete focus within this sea.
Crews train constantly together, building trust essential within this sea. No single person can safely navigate this passage alone within this sea.
Every mechanical system aboard must function flawlessly within this sea.
A single mechanical failure here can quickly become catastrophic at sea. Every vessel undergoes rigorous inspection before facing this demanding sea. Tradition still honors those who successfully cross this legendary sea. Modern travelers now receive certificates marking their crossing of this sea. Different eras, different symbols, yet the same respect for this sea.
Yet even as tradition continues, this sea itself continues to change.
Climate scientists have recorded shifting wind patterns within this sea. Some data suggests storms here may be intensifying within this changing sea.
A warming planet may be adding new volatility to this already violent sea.
Scientists continue studying exactly how climate change affects this sea.
Wind belts, once considered stable, may be shifting within this sea. What this means for future crossings remains an open question at sea. Some fear this passage could become even more dangerous within this sea. Others believe adaptation and technology will help navigate this changing sea.
Engineers now design autonomous vessels capable of navigating this sea.
These vessels could one day collect data safely within this dangerous sea. Robotic exploration may soon reduce human risk within this violent sea. Underwater drones already map depths humans cannot easily reach at sea. Advanced forecasting models now attempt to predict this unpredictable sea.
These advances may one day reduce the risk found within this legendary sea.
Yet many sailors believe technology will never fully tame this sea.
Nature here still holds an advantage no machine can fully overcome. This humility remains the one constant across every era of this sea.
Every sailor, past and present, shares this same respect for this sea. We now follow a research team studying this passage's changing sea.
Their mission focuses on understanding shifts within this vital sea. Years of collected data now reveal long-term trends within this sea. These trends show measurable warming within this powerful southern sea. Even small changes here carry consequences far beyond this single sea.
Researchers have documented shifting krill populations within this sea.
Penguins and seals must adapt quickly to survive within this shifting sea. Nature has always adapted, yet the pace of change worries many at sea. This research continues year after year within this remote, vital sea. Every finding here informs policy decisions far beyond this single sea. What happens here influences climate policy across the entire world's sea. International agreements now depend partly on data from this remote sea. Few places on Earth carry such disproportionate global importance at sea.
This work continues quietly, far from public attention, within this sea.
Few will ever know the sacrifices made to understand this powerful sea. This dedication reflects the deep respect scientists hold for this sea. Their work connects directly to the survival of ecosystems across this sea. Every species here depends on decisions made because of this research sea. Their recovery depends directly on choices made about this fragile sea.
Every person who crosses here carries a small piece of this responsibility. Education has become a growing part of every modern crossing at sea. Passengers now learn about conservation before ever reaching this sea. This awareness helps build support for protecting this remarkable sea. Those who witness this sea firsthand often become its strongest advocates. This connection between experience and advocacy shapes the future of this sea. Each traveler returns home carrying a small piece of this powerful sea. Their stories continue spreading awareness far beyond this remote sea. This ripple effect may prove as important as any scientific study at sea.
Humanity's relationship with this passage continues evolving within this sea.
Once feared purely as an obstacle, this sea is now also cherished deeply.
This shift in perspective may prove vital to protecting this violent sea.
Fear and reverence now exist together within this remarkable open sea. This duality has defined every era of human contact with this sea. From early explorers to modern scientists, all have felt this same sea. This connection binds every generation who has ever crossed this sea. We now approach the final leg of every crossing within this open sea. Antarctica finally appears on the horizon, the reward beyond this sea. This moment marks the end of the crossing, the true prize of this sea. Relief and awe mix together for every traveler reaching this final sea. Here, the violence of the crossing gives way to stillness at sea. Wildlife greets every arrival, unaware of the journey across this sea. This frozen continent has waited patiently beyond this violent sea. Its beauty makes every hardship of the crossing feel worthwhile at sea. Every traveler pauses here, reflecting on the passage across this sea. This brief calm will not last, for soon this ship must return across this sea. The return journey waits, promising this same violent sea once more. Every arrival here is only ever half of the true journey at sea. Soon, this vessel turns northward, facing this legendary sea once again. The return crossing carries the same risk as the journey south at sea. No traveler leaves this experience without a lasting respect for this sea. We have now witnessed every dimension of this powerful and living sea. Its history, its violence, its life, and its people all belong to this sea. Our journey now turns toward what the future holds for this open sea. What comes next will determine the fate of this legendary open sea. We will explore the choices facing humanity within this powerful sea. Scientists, sailors, and conservationists all share a stake in this sea. We will examine what protection truly means within this remote sea.
Every species here depends on decisions made about this fragile sea. Their future remains uncertain within a rapidly changing global sea.
We will trace how this single passage connects to our entire planet's sea. What happens in this remote corner truly matters to every ocean and sea.
We move now toward the final chapter of this remarkable journey at sea. Everything we have witnessed converges toward this final understanding of the sea. We will bring together history, science, and humanity within this sea.
This final chapter will reveal why this sea matters more than ever. For many travelers, crossing this passage becomes a lifelong personal milestone. The first sighting of Antarctic wildlife often brings travelers to tears at sea.
Some icebergs here stretch longer than several city blocks across the sea.
Few ships venture far enough south to cross the Antarctic Circle's sea.
This passage remains the primary supply route for stations beyond this sea. Fuel, food, and scientific equipment all travel this same demanding sea. Without this crossing, entire research communities would be cut off at sea.
Dozens of nations maintain stations reachable only through this open sea. An international treaty protects this continent, reached only by this sea. This treaty bans military activity and mining across this fragile sea. Nations that once competed now cooperate peacefully within this sea. This cooperation stands as a rare example of shared purpose at sea. Scientists from rival nations often collaborate closely within this sea. This spirit of cooperation began over 60 years ago within this sea. In 1959, 12 nations signed a treaty protecting this sea's continent. That agreement remains one of humanity's most successful accords at sea. Every ship crossing here today operates under that same protective sea framework. Fishing quotas here are strictly enforced to protect this delicate sea. Patrol vessels monitor these waters to prevent illegal fishing at sea. This vigilance helps preserve fish stocks for generations within this sea. Photographers travel from around the world, hoping to capture this sea. Few landscapes on Earth offer light and color found within this sea. Painters and writers have long drawn inspiration from this remarkable sea. Its raw power has shaped art, literature, and legend across this sea. Countless books and songs have been written about crossing this sea. Each generation adds its own voice to the legend of this open sea. Experienced captains often wait days for the right window to cross this sea.
Patience often matters more than speed when facing this unpredictable sea.
Even brief windows of calm can offer safe passage across this sea.
Captains must decide quickly when these narrow opportunities appear at sea.
A missed window can mean waiting days longer within this remote sea.
Passengers aboard research-focused voyages often assist scientists at sea.
Citizen science programs now let travelers contribute real data at sea. Recording wildlife sightings helps researchers track changes within this sea. In this way, every traveler becomes a small part of this sea's story.
Eventually, every vessel must turn back toward this legendary open sea. The northbound crossing often proves just as demanding as the journey south.
Fatigue from the outbound journey can make this return even harder at sea.
Crews rely on hard-earned experience to guide this final push through the sea. Familiar landmarks slowly return as ships near the edge of this sea. The sight of Cape Horn again brings quiet relief to every crew at sea.
Sheltered water finally returns after 2 exhausting days at open sea.
Every safe arrival adds one more successful crossing to this sea's record.
Behind them lies a passage that has tested sailors for over 5 centuries. Out there, the violence continues, indifferent to any single crossing of this sea. Drake Passage will still be here long after every ship that crossed it. It has outlasted empires, technologies, and every explorer who has faced this sea. Its permanence reminds us how small we truly are before this sea. Yet within that smallness, humanity keeps returning to face this sea. That persistence, more than anything, defines our relationship with this sea. Explorers, scientists, sailors, and travelers all keep coming back to this sea. Something about this place keeps calling people back across this sea. Perhaps it is the beauty hidden within its danger that defines this sea.
Or perhaps it is simply the honesty of a place that hides nothing at sea. This passage never pretends to be anything other than what it truly is. In a world full of comfort, this sea still demands complete honesty. Perhaps that honesty is exactly why we keep returning to this sea. Our journey now turns toward bringing this entire story together as one sea.
Next, we bring this entire journey together in our final reflection. That is Part 5.
In 1832, a young naturalist first charted these waters at sea. The survey ship Beagle spent years mapping this remote and violent sea. Its crew charted channels that had never before appeared on any sea map. The young naturalist aboard later wrote of nature's raw power at this sea. His observations here helped shape ideas that would later transform this sea.
He documented countless species found only within this remote southern sea. His careful notes on this coastline remain valuable to scientists studying this sea.
That voyage began a tradition of scientific discovery within this violent sea. Nearly 2 centuries later, researchers still follow that same path at sea. East of this passage lies another island, shaped entirely by this sea. South Georgia rises sharply from the depths of this powerful southern sea. Hundreds of thousands of king penguins breed along this remote island's sea. This island hosts one of the largest albatross colonies found at sea. Each chick waits months for parents returning from across this vast sea. Parents may travel thousands of miles gathering food from this open sea. A century ago, this same island became a center for hunting this sea's whales. Abandoned whaling stations still stand as reminders of what this sea lost. In the early 1900s, whaling nearly emptied this entire sea. Tens of thousands of whales were taken from this once abundant sea. By the 1960s, whale populations had collapsed across this sea. International bans eventually ended commercial whaling within this sea. Slowly, over decades, whale numbers have begun recovering within this sea.
Today, scientists document growing numbers returning to this recovering sea.
Massive feeding gatherings now occur regularly within this recovering sea. Whales cooperate to trap prey using bubble nets within this powerful sea. This spectacle ranks among the most dramatic feeding events found at sea. Researchers travel great distances, hoping to witness this rare sea event. Occasionally, dozens of orcas gather into massive pods within this sea. Scientists remain uncertain exactly why these superpods form within this sea. These gatherings may represent rare social events within this vast sea.
For centuries, sailors have told stories to explain this sea's strange power. Ghost ship legends grew from sailors lost within this foggy, violent sea. Tales of phantom vessels doomed to sail forever spread across this sea. Sailors swore they glimpsed these ghost ships within this haunted open sea. These legends helped sailors process the very real dangers of this sea. Fear and folklore have always traveled together across this powerful sea. Poets and writers have long drawn upon this sea's haunting reputation. The albatross itself became a powerful symbol within maritime literature at sea. Sailors once believed harming this bird brought misfortune upon their sea voyage. This belief reflected deep respect for creatures thriving within this violent sea.
As night falls here, this passage reveals an entirely different kind of wonder. Far from city lights, the night sky here glows with extraordinary clarity.
Thousands of stars become visible above this remote, undisturbed open sea. On rare nights, the aurora australis dances above this southern open sea.
This southern light show rivals its northern counterpart above this sea. Few travelers are fortunate enough to witness this rare display at sea. This light is created by solar particles colliding above this southern sea. Our planet's magnetic field channels this glow toward this remote sea. Sailors have navigated by these same stars for centuries across this sea. Before satellites, only these stars guided ships safely across this sea. Navigators once calculated position using only starlight above this sea. Today, satellites provide precise positioning across this once mysterious sea. Yet many captains still learn celestial navigation as backup at sea. Technology can fail, but the stars remain constant above this restless sea. This ancient knowledge connects modern sailors to generations before this sea. Somewhere within this passage lies an invisible boundary within the sea.
This is the Antarctic convergence, where cold and warm water meet at sea.
Water temperature can drop several degrees within a few miles at sea.
This boundary marks the true biological edge of the Antarctic open sea.
Species found north of this line rarely cross into the colder southern sea.
Even seabirds respect this invisible line dividing this remarkable sea. This convergence has remained remarkably stable for millions of years at sea.
Recently, scientists have observed this boundary shifting within this sea.
Even this ancient boundary now responds to a warming global sea. If this boundary can shift, nothing within this sea remains untouched.
Documentary filmmakers have long risked this crossing to capture this sea.
Specialized equipment now captures footage once impossible within this sea.
Underwater cinematography reveals a world few have witnessed within this sea. These images have shaped public understanding of this remote, powerful sea.
Every frame captured here carries the risk taken to film this sea. Filming here demands the same respect required of any sailor at sea. Millions now witness this passage's power without ever leaving home at sea. This exposure has helped build support for protecting this fragile sea.
Unlike most modern shipping, this passage largely avoids heavy commercial sea traffic.
Most cargo ships, instead, choose a narrow canal far north of this sea.
The Panama Canal offers a safer, faster route than this dangerous sea.
Since that canal opened, far fewer cargo ships cross this violent sea. In 1914, that canal changed global shipping away from this sea. Overnight, this once vital trade route became far less traveled at sea. Fewer ships meant fewer disasters, yet also less economic reliance on this sea. This reduced traffic may have inadvertently protected this fragile southern sea.
Less commercial traffic means less pollution within this remote open sea.
Sometimes, history protects a place simply by looking elsewhere at sea. This passage remains primarily a route for science, tourism, and this sea. This relative quiet may be exactly what protects this sea's future. Yet nothing about this passage's future remains entirely guaranteed at sea.
As Arctic ice melts elsewhere, shipping patterns may shift across every sea.
New routes opening elsewhere could someday affect traffic through this sea. How this passage's role changes remains an open question for this sea.
For now, this remains one of the least commercially traveled seas on Earth.
This relative isolation has preserved much of its original character at sea.
Few places on Earth remain as wild as this remote and powerful sea.
This wildness itself has become one of its most valuable qualities at sea. In a world increasingly developed, this untouched sea grows rarer each year. People increasingly travel far simply to experience a truly wild sea.
This passage offers something increasingly rare, an unfiltered, honest sea.
Every creature here lives entirely on nature's terms, not our own at sea.
This honesty may be the greatest lesson found within this remarkable sea.
We have now traced this passage from its violent surface to its quiet depths.
We have followed sailors, scientists, and creatures who call this sea home. Each layer we uncovered revealed another dimension of this powerful sea. Its history stretches from ancient tectonic forces to modern conservation at sea. Its violence has shaped legend, science, and countless lives lost at sea.
Its beauty has inspired art, wonder, and devotion across generations at sea.
This passage holds contradictions few other places on Earth can claim at sea.
Danger and abundance, violence and tenderness, all coexist within this sea.
This balance has held for millions of years within this restless sea. Yet that balance now faces pressures unlike any in its long history at sea.
Human influence now reaches even the most remote corners of this sea. This reality demands a new kind of respect for this powerful open sea. Protecting this sea means protecting an entire interconnected web of life.
Every whale, every penguin, every krill depends on this fragile balance at sea.
This balance also protects processes vital to our entire planet's sea. Carbon storage, current circulation, and climate regulation all depend on this sea. What happens here truly does ripple outward across every distant sea. This is not simply a distant, forgotten corner of the world's sea. It is a place quietly shaping the future of every ocean and sea. Understanding this passage means understanding our planet's connected sea. We have walked through science, history, danger, and wonder within this sea. Few subjects on Earth offer such a complete and layered story at sea.
This passage teaches patience, humility, and respect for forces beyond us. It teaches that beauty and danger often exist within the very same sea. It teaches that survival often required cooperation across every kind of sea. It teaches that even the harshest places can sustain remarkable life at sea. Perhaps most importantly, it teaches that nature still holds the final word at sea.
No technology, no ambition, no wealth can fully command this open sea.
This truth has held steady since the very first ship entered this sea.
It will likely hold steady long after every current ship leaves this sea. We now stand ready to bring this entire story together as one sea. Every thread we have followed now weaves into one final reflection at sea. History, science, danger, and beauty converge within this final open sea. From this height, the true scale of Drake Passage becomes clear at sea. We now turn toward the final reflection promised by this remarkable sea. Everything gathered here will guide our closing thoughts on this sea.
We carry forward every story, every fact, every creature of this sea.
This knowledge now shapes how we understand this powerful, living sea. We move now toward the final understanding this journey has offered. Every creature here has taught us something about resilience at sea.
We are grateful for every lesson this remarkable passage has offered.
This gratitude does not lessen the respect this violent sea demands. Both can exist together, gratitude and caution, within this powerful sea.
This is perhaps the deepest truth this journey has revealed about the sea.
We move now toward the closing chapter of our journey through this sea. What remains ahead will bring together every thread of this journey.
We carry every story forward into this documentary's true final chapter.
This passage has given us history, science, wildlife, and human courage.
It has given us tragedy, resilience, and hope within this same violent sea.
Few places offer such a complete portrait of nature's power at sea. We now carry this complete portrait into our documentary's closing chapter.
Every species we followed continues its life, unaware of our departure. The whales continue feeding, the seals continue hunting, within this sea. The ice continues drifting, the currents continue flowing, within this sea.
The storms continue building, the waves continue rising, within this sea.
Long after we leave, this passage continues exactly as it always has.
This constancy, more than anything, defines the true character of this sea. It does not perform for cameras, nor does it soften for visitors at sea. It simply exists, exactly as it...
This is the final truth we carry forward from this remarkable open sea.
We now move toward the final words of this extraordinary journey at sea.
Everything explored here now prepares to close within this final sea.
What follows will bring our full documentary journey to its conclusion. We are entering the final moments of our journey through this legendary sea. This is where our journey through the story of this open sea concludes.
What we witness next will bring together everything this sea has taught. The albatross still soars above, guided by winds it has always known.
The orcas still hunt below, patient and precise within this ancient sea. The ice still drifts north, carrying fragments of Antarctica across this sea. The whales still migrate through, following paths older than any nation at sea.
The storms still gather, and the calm still follows, exactly as always at sea. This rhythm has continued since long before the first ship entered this sea. It will continue long after the last ship ever crosses this remarkable sea. In this way, Drake Passage belongs to time itself, not to any single sea voyage. We are simply visitors, passing briefly through this ancient, living sea. That humility remains the truest gift this passage offers to every sea traveler. We carry that humility forward into the closing moments of this documentary. We now approach the very last reflection of our journey through this sea.
This is where our documentary's exploration of this sea finally concludes. Somewhere below, a chinstrap penguin begins its own small journey at sea. A leopard seal rests quietly, gathering strength for its next hunt at sea.
A giant petrel circles patiently, one of countless lives sustained by this sea.
Billions of krill continue drifting, the quiet engine powering this entire sea.
Far below, tectonic forces continue shaping the floor of this restless sea. This current still carries carbon and cold water into the depths of our sea.
Somewhere out there, a scientist records another day's data from this sea.
Somewhere out there, a lone sailor counts the hours left within this sea.
Somewhere out there, a traveler watches their first sunset over this sea.
Right now, hundreds of stories are unfolding across this single, living sea. Each one adds a small thread to the enormous tapestry of this sea. This tapestry has been weaving itself long before any of us arrived here. It will keep weaving itself long after we are gone from this sea. We are fortunate simply to have witnessed a single thread of this vast sea. That single thread has taken us from sunlit reefs to the deepest trench at sea. It has taken us from ancient explorers to modern satellites tracking this sea. It has taken us from tragedy at sea to fragile hope for its recovery. Every step of this journey has brought us closer to understanding this sea. Yet even now, so much of this passage remains a mystery at sea. New species, new currents, new secrets still wait to be found at sea. Future explorers will continue uncovering what remains hidden within this sea.
This story, like the passage itself, remains far from finished at sea.
Every generation will add its own chapter to the legend of this sea. Somewhere, a young sailor is already dreaming of crossing this sea. Somewhere, a young South Asian non-binary scientist is preparing their first expedition to this sea.
Somewhere, a child is watching footage of this passage for the very first time.
That child may one day stand aboard a ship crossing this very same sea. This is how the story of Drake Passage continues, one traveler at a time. This sea does not ask to be understood, only to be respected and witnessed. That respect is the one thing every sailor, scientist, and traveler shares here.
It is the same respect felt by explorers 500 years ago at sea.
It will likely be the same respect felt by explorers 500 years from now.
This is what makes Drake Passage more than simply a place on any map.
It is a living reminder of what remains wild in an increasingly tamed world.
We carry that reminder with us as our journey now nears its true end.
We have crossed this passage in every sense, but the physical one ourselves. In doing so, we hope you have felt something of its true, powerful nature. Its violence, its beauty, its history, and its fragile future all belong together.
We now carry this complete story forward into our documentary's true ending. What began as a story of danger has become a story of deep connection.
We move now toward the final words of this remarkable Pacific journey. Everything we have witnessed now prepares to close as one final thought.
We invite you to join us for that final reflection on this remarkable sea. Drake Passage has given us everything a single sea possibly could.
Now, we carry its full story into the closing chapter of this journey.
This is Drake Passage, and this has been its story, told through this sea.
Next, we close this journey with our final thoughts on Drake Passage. That is part 6.
We have crossed Drake Passage in every way except by ship ourselves. This storm, like every storm before it, will eventually pass across this sea.
Slowly, the wind begins to release its grip on this restless open sea. A single patch of blue breaks through, the first sign of calm at sea. Golden light spreads slowly, warming the surface of this exhausted sea.
This is the calm that always follows, the quiet half of this open sea.
The albatross continues its endless flight, untroubled by the calming sea below.
Dolphins return to play across the surface of this now gentle sea.
In the distance, Cape Horn watches quietly over this familiar open sea.
This cape has watched over every ship that has ever entered this sea.
Our journey began far from here, along warmer reefs of a different sea.
It carried us through waters teeming with the smallest life in the sea. It showed us fire burning quietly at the bottom of this restless sea. It froze around us, testing every creature within this unforgiving sea. It crushed us with pressure at depths few will ever witness at sea. And finally, it returned us here, to this legendary and restless open sea. Every extreme habitat we explored connects through this single, powerful sea. Before we close this journey, we pause to remember those lost here.
800 ships, 20,000 souls, claimed across 5 centuries of sea.
Most rest without a marker, known only to the depths of this sea.
Sailors from Spain, England, Holland, and countless nations share this sea.
In death, this passage made no distinction between flag or nation at sea. A single monument near Cape Horn honors every sailor lost at sea.
It takes the shape of an albatross, watching eternally over this sea.
Fitting, perhaps, that this bird still carries their memory across this sea. We honor them not with sorrow alone, but with continued respect for this sea. Their sacrifice taught generations of sailors how to survive this violent sea. Every safe crossing today stands on lessons paid for in this sea. We carry their memory forward into a more hopeful chapter of this sea. That hopeful chapter begins with the recovery of life within this sea.
Humpback whale numbers have risen significantly since whaling ended at sea. Fur seal populations have rebounded strongly across this protected southern sea.
Several penguin colonies here remain stable despite challenges facing this sea.
International protections now cover vast stretches of this remarkable sea.
These are not small victories, but hard-won triumphs within this sea.
Decades of dedicated science made this recovery possible within this sea. Yet this recovery remains fragile, dependent on continued care for this sea.
Climate change now threatens to undo decades of progress within this sea.
Warming waters could reverse gains made over half a century at sea. A decline in krill would ripple through every predator within this sea.
This decade may determine the future health of this entire southern sea.
Nations continue negotiating new protections for this critical global sea.
Proposed sanctuaries could safeguard even more of this fragile southern sea. Every protection agreed upon here echoes across the world's connected sea. This is not a distant problem, but one touching every ocean and sea. Water formed here eventually touches nearly every coastline on Earth's sea. A drop entering this passage may one day reach a distant tropical sea.
There is truly only one ocean, divided only by names we gave this sea. Drake Passage is simply the most violent expression of that single sea. What happens here echoes outward, whether we notice or not, at sea.
Long after cameras leave, scientists continue their quiet vigil at sea. Instruments left behind continue listening around the clock to this sea. Every measurement collected adds one more piece to understanding this sea. This work rarely makes headlines, yet it quietly protects this entire sea. Researchers spend months isolated, dedicated entirely to understanding this sea. Their sacrifice rarely earns recognition, yet it shapes the future of this sea. We owe them a debt, rarely acknowledged, beyond the edges of this sea. As one day ends here, another day always begins across this endless sea. This cycle has repeated itself for longer than any human record of this sea.
Penguins begin their day exactly as they have for thousands of years at sea.
The leopard seal begins its hunt as morning light spreads across this sea. Orcas resume their patrol, ancient hunters greeting a new day at sea. Krill continue their slow drift, unaware of the dawn breaking above this sea. The albatross begins another day's journey across this vast morning sea. Full daylight returns, revealing once again the true scale of this sea. From this light, we begin to see the full picture of this remarkable sea. From above, 600 miles of open water stretch toward Antarctica's sea. This narrow gap has shaped exploration, science, and legend across this sea. To the south, an entire frozen continent depends on crossing this sea. To the north, an entire continent's edge meets this same restless sea. This passage bridges two continents, two histories, and two futures at sea. Few places on Earth carry such geographic and symbolic weight at sea. That weight has drawn explorers, scientists, and dreamers to this sea. It will continue drawing them for as long as ships sail this open sea. This invitation has remained unchanged since the earliest explorers of this sea. New life continues arriving each season along the edges of this sea. Each new generation inherits both the danger and the beauty of this sea. Young whales learn this passage's rhythms from the very first days at sea. This chick will one day fly thousands of miles across this same open sea. Every generation of life here inherits this passage exactly as it is. What we choose to leave behind will shape every generation still to come. This responsibility belongs to every nation touched by this connected sea. It belongs to every traveler who returns home changed by this powerful sea. Most of all, it belongs to the creatures who have never known any other sea. They ask nothing of us, except the space to continue living within this sea. That request seems small, yet it demands our full attention, and this sea. We have seen what this passage gives, and what it demands, at sea. It has taken ships, lives, and certainty, yet given wonder in return at sea. That wonder remains available to anyone willing to respect this violent sea.
You do not need to cross it yourself to feel connected to this sea.
Every choice we make about climate and conservation touches this sea. We are all, in some small way, stewards of this remote and powerful sea.
This stewardship does not require a ship, only awareness of this sea. Awareness, over time, becomes the foundation for truly protecting this sea. This documentary has been one small attempt to build that awareness at sea.
We hope it has brought you closer to understanding this extraordinary sea.
Its history spans centuries. Its science spans disciplines. Its life spans depths.
No single documentary could ever fully capture everything within this sea.
We have offered only a single perspective on this vast, living sea. Countless other stories remain untold within the depths of this sea. Future explorers and scientists will continue adding chapters to this sea.
This story will keep growing for as long as this passage remains a sea.
We are grateful to have shared even this much of its story at sea. Before we go, let us look once more at everything this journey revealed.
We began in warm reefs, though far from the storms of this southern sea.
We learned how the smallest creatures sustain the largest lives at sea.
We discovered fire and life coexisting far beneath this restless sea.
We witnessed ice and cold reshape survival itself within this frozen sea.
We descended into crushing darkness at the deepest point of this sea.
We felt the raw violence of wind and wave colliding without mercy at sea. We remembered the sailors who risked everything crossing this legendary sea.
We followed the scientists who now study every current within this sea.
We celebrated the wildlife slowly recovering across this remarkable sea.
And we return now, having traveled the full breadth of this singular sea. Drake Passage remains, as it always has, entirely unto itself at sea.
No other place combines its violence, its life, and its history at sea. It stands as a reminder of what wild, untamed nature still looks like at sea.
In protecting it, we protect a small but vital piece of Earth's living sea.
In studying it, we learn more about our own planet's fragile, connected sea. In respecting it, we learn how to face forces greater than ourselves at sea.
These lessons extend far beyond the boundaries of any single sea.
Humility, resilience, and respect apply to every challenge, not only this sea. Drake Passage simply teaches these lessons with unmatched clarity at sea. Few teachers on Earth are as honest or as unforgiving as this sea. We leave this passage grateful for what it has shown us about the sea.
We leave grateful for the creatures who call this dangerous place home.
We leave grateful for the scientists working quietly to protect this sea.
We leave grateful for the sailors, past and present, who braved this sea.
Most of all, we leave grateful simply to have witnessed this remarkable sea.
Drake Passage will continue long after this documentary reaches its end.
It will still be here tomorrow, next year, and centuries from now, at sea. Its storms will keep rising. Its calm will keep returning, at sea. Its creatures will keep living exactly as they always have at sea. That permanence offers a strange comfort in an ever-changing world at sea.
Some things remain larger than any single moment within this sea. Our entire history amounts to only a passing moment within this sea. This passage has existed for millions of years before any of us arrived. It will likely exist for millions more, long after we are gone from this sea. That scale of time humbles every ambition we carry into this sea. Yet within that humbling scale, our choices still genuinely matter at sea.
The next century of this sea depends directly on decisions made today.
Every whale, every seal, every bird depends on choices made about this sea.
This is the true weight carried by our relationship with this remarkable sea. We hope this journey has left you with that same sense of weight and wonder. It is history and future, science and legend, all within one sea. It is loss and recovery, fear and reverence, all within this single sea.
It is, in every sense, one of the most complete places on Earth's sea. We thank you for joining this journey across its extraordinary open sea.
May you carry its lessons forward, wherever your own path leads at sea.
May you remember its storms when you face difficulty, whatever your sea.
May you remember its calm when storms finally pass in your own sea.
May you remember its resilience when the world feels overwhelming at sea.
This has been Drake Passage, the waterway that has swallowed 800 ships. And this has been the story of every soul who dared to cross it at sea. From ancient explorers to modern scientists, all bound by this same sea. From coral reefs to the deepest trench, all part of this one connected sea.
From violent storms to gentle dawns, all faces of this single living sea.
Drake Passage does not ask to be conquered, only to be understood at sea.
In understanding it, perhaps we understand something of ourselves at sea. We are small, temporary, and fragile, exactly like every ship in this sea.
Yet we are also capable of wonder, courage, and care within this sea. That capacity may be the most important thing this journey revealed at sea. Drake Passage will remain exactly as violent, exactly as beautiful, at sea.
What changes is only how we choose to meet it, again and again, at sea. May we always choose humility, curiosity, and care when we meet this sea. May future generations inherit a sea as alive as the one we witnessed. May the orcas keep hunting, the whales keep singing within this sea. May the penguins keep diving, the seals keep resting within this sea.
May the albatross keep soaring, generation after generation, at sea. May the storms keep coming, and the calm keep following, at sea. May Drake Passage remain exactly what it has always been, a living sea. Untamed, unpredictable, and utterly unlike anywhere else on this Earth's sea.
This has been our journey across the most violent waterway on Earth's sea. Thank you for witnessing every story this passage was willing to share at sea. Somewhere out there, right now, this same sea continues writing its story. A story that began long before us and will continue long after this sea. We were only ever brief witnesses to a small part of this eternal sea. That brief witness has been an honor, beyond words within this sea. We hope you feel that same honor carried forward from this remarkable sea.
Drake Passage, the waterway that has swallowed 800 ships. The sea that still, to this day, commands total respect from every sailor. The sea that sustains life against every possible odd, season after season. The sea that connects 2 continents, 2 oceans, and countless generations. The sea that will remain wild long after every question we ask is answered.
This has been Wild Pacific's deepest chapter, told through the world's wildest sea.
We leave you now at the edge of this passage, exactly where we began. Behind us lies a passage that has tested humanity for over 5 centuries.
Ahead of it lies a future still being written, wave by wave, at sea.
We are grateful to have walked even a small part of that path with you. This is the sea that connects reefs, trenches, ice, fire, and open water.
This is the sea that has taken so much and given back even more in return.
This is the sea that will keep testing every ship brave enough to enter.
This is the sea that will keep sustaining every creature that calls it home. This is the sea that taught us the true meaning of respect and wonder. This is the sea we now leave behind, changed by everything we witnessed.
This is Drake Passage, and its story will always continue at sea.
Thank you for crossing this violent, beautiful, unforgettable sea with us. May you always remember what lies beneath the surface of every sea. May you always respect what nature holds beyond our full understanding. May you always find your own calm after every storm you face at sea. This is our ocean. This is our planet's living, restless, extraordinary sea. And its story, like the waves that shape it, is never truly finished. Somewhere, right now, another ship prepares to face this legendary sea. Somewhere, right now, another wave rises to meet that same brave sea. This is the eternal rhythm of Drake Passage, endless, patient, and alive. It has been the honor of this journey to share that rhythm with you. From the warmest reef to the wildest sea, this has been our complete journey.
We began at the edge of the Pacific, and we end at its most violent gateway. Every extreme habitat we explored led us, ultimately, to this final sea. It is fitting that our journey ends where the ocean shows its truest self. Raw, unfiltered, and entirely indifferent to anything but its own nature.
That is, perhaps, the final and greatest lesson of this entire journey. The ocean does not exist for us. We exist within it, briefly, at sea. Understanding that truth may be the beginning of truly protecting this sea. We hope this journey has planted that understanding somewhere within you. Wherever you go from here, may you carry the sea with you always. May you remember its storms, its calm, its danger, and its beauty.
May you remember every creature who calls this violent sea their only home.
This has been Wild Pacific. Thank you for sharing this entire journey with us. The sea remains. The story continues. And we are grateful you were here. This is Drake Passage. This is our sea. And its story is far from over.